today, as you guys can probably already tell from the title, we are doing another beauty video. And when I tell y'all I'm super excited for today's video, because I am attempting to recreate the glam look that I made for my courthouse wedding. And when I first got engaged, I had no idea what I was going to do for glam. And so immediately I got on social media and I was just looking for tips and tricks and different inspiration. And this is what I came up with. And it was super simple. I was looking for something that was very lightweight and somewhat more on the natural side. And thank God also the wig that I chose was very well made, and so it made it very easy to install, because as I said, your girl is a beginner and literally have no idea what I'm doing, but I made it work. You see I do my cleanup where I take the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Carmel and I add that just to the arch to kind of bring like a little highlighted effect. I'm going to leave all of the products and the shades in the description box below. So then I take that same Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Amande, which is like my skin complexion, and I use that to clean up the rest of the brow. And I try to blend everything down to my eyelid, and also I try to keep the Amande from fully blending all the way out, covering the highlight, because I want to keep that highlight effect. take the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Carmel again, and I add that to my eyelids as an eyeshadow base. Now, for my actual wedding, I used the Too Faced eyeshadow base primer, but I couldn't find it today. So the eyeshadow look didn't come out as like vibrant as it did on my wedding day, but close enough. Then I take some translucent powder and I just set that concealer. And again, I'm gonna link all the eyeshadow palettes, but I just took a very like close to my skin tone ish brown, and I put that like in my crease area, and I used some tape to kind of keep everything clean and concise. And the eyeshadow palette that I'm using is actually one that my husband got for me as a gift. And when I tell y'all, I don't know how he knew, but this palette is like one of my favorite palettes. The pigmentation is everything, and the way that these colors blend is just, I love it. Doing my best to make sure everything is even and fully blended. And then as you guys are going to see, I take like a darker burgundy brownish color and I add that to the outer corner, I guess, and I kind of blend that inward from there. But yeah, y'all, on my wedding day, I mean, it was so perfect. My husband was super supportive. We almost missed our appointment because we made it there so late. And there was like other weddings that were going on after ours, but we were in and we were out pretty quickly. And then I had family there. And because I grew up in the foster system, I never in a million years would have thought that my biological dad would be there. When we left the courthouse, we went out and we ate good food and we just really had an amazing day, my husband and I. And now here you see me applying my lashes, and quick disclaimer, one of my lashes was very crooked and I did go ahead and fix that later on in the video, but when I tell you it irritated the mess out of me, so please just ignore that. My primer, and here I use the Huda Beauty, I believe. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now, but this is a concealer that is very, very radiant and sheer and natural, and I just use this to kind of even my complexion and just give a little, very, very slight amount of coverage. And I pretty much just spot conceal and use it under my eyes. And in my last video, I used a brush to blend this concealer, so now you can kind of see the difference between using it with a brush and using it with a sponge. I like it either way, honestly. So then I take my Makeup by Mario contour stick in the shade medium brown, and I add a little bit of contour. I did also add some contour under my jawline. So then I take that Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer again in the shade Caramel, and I highlight the bridge of my nose, and I take that up my forehead as well. And this is a new technique I started doing where I add a little bit more of that Huda Beauty concealer under the contour to kind of like emphasize the contour. Then I take the Makeup by Mario contour stick in the shade Dark, and I use that to contour my nose. Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer again in the shade Caramel, and I kind of clean up the nose contour as well as highlight the under eye. Go in and I lightly set everything before I bake. Take the Too Faced cocoa powder and I bronze up a little bit. And then here you'll see me baking. And then in my last video, I said that this was Huda Beauty bronzer. This is Juvia's Place Duo Bronzer, and I'll leave the exact shades again in the description box. But then here you see me fixing my crooked lash. And I off camera, I added the Huda Beauty Rich Brown Lip Liner, and then I used the Creme Brulee Nyx Butter Lip Gloss over the top. And then I just basically added some of that Too Faced cocoa powder to emphasize that nose contour a little bit. And that's the finished look. So there's me and my handsome husband on our wedding day.